Hello, everyone, and welcome to session 3 out of 8 sessions. For this one, we will be going over a very helpful topic that you will definitely encounter in school, or if you haven't already encountered, then I'm 100% sure you will, because fractions, as we will be learning, is a very common topic. So let's get started with some vocab. Numerator, the top number of a fraction, and the denominator, the bottom number of a fraction. So here's how a fraction looks. 1 over 3. This is the numerator, which I'll say n. And this is the denominator, which is d. So yeah, let's go into 3-1, equivalent fractions. How to make fractions equivalent. So the first step is make sure that the quotient, that means the answer to a division problem, the quotient of the denominator and the numerator is the same. To make equivalent, so that's how you check, and then to make equivalent, multiply the numerator and denominator or divide by the same number. So for the first one, we're gonna use this one because you already have the multiple fractions, not just one. So, and you have to check if they're equivalent. So make sure that the quotient of the denominator and the numerator is the same. So using that, let's divide. 15 divided by 5, we know is equal to 3. Now 45 divided by 15. 45 divided by 15 equals 3. Now the last one is 30 over 90. So 90 divided by 30 equals 3. So they're all 3, meaning that, yes, they are equivalent. Number 2, pick two fractions that are equal to 2 over 15. So now this time we have to either divide or multiply. We can't really divide because these numbers have nothing in common besides 1. So like the greatest common factor, as we learned earlier, is 1 between them. So let's multiply, start with 2. So that means this is equal to 4 over 30. So now this time, 2 over 15 times 3 times 3. This time is equal to 6 over, so 6 over 45. So 4 over 30. So 4 over 30 and 6 over 45 are equivalent. Now 3-2, ordering and comparing fractions. Steps. Number 1. Make sure the denominators are the same by finding the LCM, which is least common multiple of the denominators, or finding the greatest common factor of all the numbers in all the fractions. So I like using LCM because it's so much quicker, because sometimes all the numbers do not have a greatest common factor besides 1. Yeah, so let's see. Order 2/3, 5, 6, and 9 over 81 from least to greatest. Okay, I forgot to tell you this in the other video, but hopefully you inferred it. Pause the video and solve these two problems. So hopefully you pause the video and solve them. Sorry, I didn't tell you earlier. But now let's order them. So 2 over 3, 5 over 6, and 9 over 81. So 2 over 3, 5 over 6, and 9 over 81. And 9 over 81. So for this one, we can just find the LCM of all these numbers. But first, I want to simplify every single fraction. By simplifying, you just divide them by the top and the bottom. That will make it so much easier. 2/3 is already simplified. But this one isn't, because you can divide both of them by 9. So when you do that, 2/3 is still the same. 5/6 is still the same. When you divide by 9, 9 divided by 9 is 1. Then 81 divided by 9 is 9. So now we can get started. The LCM of all these numbers is 18, because this goes in it by, we can just do the cake method. 3, 6, 9. They're all divisible by 3. That means 1, 2, 3. Funny, 1, 2, 3. So that doesn't work. Now when you multiply all this, 3 times 1, just 3. 3 times 2, 6. Then 6 times 3, 18. So 18. So let's rewrite it down over here. So 2/3, to get this denominator to 18, multiply by 6 here. So also do the same, remember, so it can stay equivalent. So it's 12/18. When you do the same for all of these, we're going to get, we'll multiply by 3. Multiply by 3, we get 15/18. So already greater. And then by 2, so 2/18. So now now let's do number 2. The step 2 is compare the numerators. The greater the numerator, the greater the number. So it says least to greatest, meaning the answer is, let's write it in the normal form they came in. So 9/81, because this is 9/81, remember? So this, then this one, which is 2/3. And finally, 5/6, which was 15/18. So yeah, we're done. Now, which one is greater, 5/7 or 22/49? Okay, so let's find the LCM of this, 7 and 49. We already know it's 49 because 7 goes into 49 7 times. So we can leave 22/49 as 22/49 because it's already has 49 as the denominator. But for 5/7, times 7 times 7, we get 35/49. And we immediately know that 35 is greater than 22, meaning the answer is 5/7. Now, adding fractions. Steps. Number 1, find common denominator. We already know how to do that. Number 2, it's already there. Number 2, add numerator and leave denominator the same. Okay, practice these. Pause the video and figure these out. Okay, hopefully you paused it. If not, then do it now. Here are the problems. Let's get started, because hopefully you unpaused it now, and we're going on. So 1/6 plus 3/4. So common denominator in this would be 12. So we can rewrite this as times 2 to get 12. So times 2 this. So 2/12 plus this one times 3. So this one times 3. 9/12. So when you add this, steps, add numerator, leave denominator the same. So same means 12. So the answer for 1/6 plus 3/4 would be 11/12. Now onto this. 2/3 plus 4/5. 2/3 plus 4/5. So the common denominator would be 15. This is very simple because they're very small numbers. So I try to keep it simple so it's easier for you guys, and it makes it helpful. But when you get into harder ones, you're gonna most likely have to use the cake method, and you can't do it in your head. But if you use the cake method now, it's still all right. So we know 15, so times 5 to get there. So times 5 here. 10/15. Then here times 3, so times 3 plus 12 this time, 12/15. And we get answer 22/15. So we're going to leave it this way, this is called an improper fraction, for the numerator is larger than the denominator, but there's another way to write it, which is where you subtract 15 once, so it would be 1, and when you subtract 15, you get 7, then you keep 15 as the denominator. So this is also an answer. So either way it works, but I like leaving it as this way for now because it's easier to work with improper fractions. Now, subtraction. Exact same steps. Number 1, find, well, not exact same, instead you subtract numerator. Find common denominator. Number 2, subtract numerators, leave denominator the same. Now, I'm not too good at spelling, but hopefully you find me good at math when I teach you this. So 4 over 8 plus minus 1 over 16. So common denominator, we already know it's 16 because 8 goes into 16 2 times when you multiply by 2. And this already has 16 as a denominator, so we can leave it the same. So times 2 to get to 16. So when you multiply this by 2, we get 8. So 8 over 16 minus 1 over 16. We get 8 minus 1 equal to 7. So and then we leave the denominator the same. So the answer would be 7 over 16. Wait. Alright, so now let's go over to the next one. 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. Okay. 3 over 4 minus 5 over 12. So common denominator would be 12 because we know here 4 already goes into 12. So we can just leave this one the same. And we also know that it goes in times 3. Funny thing, it's the exact same fraction, meaning it would be written as 9 over 12. So we already know 9 over 12 minus 5 over 12. 9 minus 5, 4. Denominator stays the same. So the answer is 4 over 12. And if you want, you can simplify it. And when you divide both of them by 4, you can simplify it to 1/3. And on most tests, they like the simplified version. But you have to know that these two are exactly the same. So I'm just going to write it as 1/3. Now, multiplication of fractions. For this one's much different than addition or subtraction. This time, you don't need to find common denominator. Number 1. Multiply numerator with numerator and denominator with denominator. So this time you do not leave the denominator the same, and you don't need a common denominator. So pause the video and practice these problems. So this time just multiply 1 times 4, 3 times 5, and do the same for number 2. Okay, hopefully you've done them, and I'll show you the answers now. So 1/3 times 4 over 5. Remember, just multiply across. 1 times 4, 4. 3 times 5, 15. So you cannot simplify this, so it's just equal to 4 over 15. Next one. 1 over 21. Write that here. 1 over 21 times, remember, I'll just circle it. I'm writing over here. 1 over 21 times 3 over 4. So just multiply across. 3 times 1, 3, and then 21 times 4 is 84. So you can simplify this, by the way. 84 is divisible by 3, so when you simplify it, you get your answer equal to, so I'll do the math over here, 3 over divided by 84 divided by 3, so this goes in 2 times, minus 6, 2, okay, I can stop here because I know 24, then that would be 8, so 28, so 1 over 28 would be our simplified answer. 1 over 28. So now we're on to division of fractions. So some vocab would be reciprocal, if you don't know what that is. Reciprocal. This is only for a division. No. Okay. So I was saying no to undoing it. So reciprocal, this is the the numerator. So the number that is formed, when the numerator and denominator are sort of flipped, or you can say switched. So steps when you divide by a fraction. So the steps would be find reciprocal of second number. So that's step number 1. Find reciprocal of second number. Reciprocal of second number. 2. Follow steps of multiplication. So this one, you don't actually have to divide anything. Just find the reciprocal of the second number, then follow the multiplication steps. So we can do that for 3/4 divided by 2/3. So over here, 3/4 divided by 2/3. So we flip this. It's 3 over 2. So it's equal to 3 over 4. Remember, turns to multiplication times, and this is 3 over 2. Now we can multiply. 3 times 3, 9. 4 times 2, 8. Remember how we formed this like mixed number over here? We turned it to this mixed number. Same way we can do 8 minus 9. So we can have 8 go into 9 one time. So 1, then 9 minus 8, 1. Denominator stays the same. So it's 1 over 8. But I'm going to write here as 9 over 8. Either one is correct. So now 7 over 8 divided by 6 over 7. We can follow the same steps. 7 over 8 divided by 6 over 7 equals 7 over 8 times 7 over 6. So this would equal 49, and then this would equal 48. When you simplify this, once again, you get 1 and 1 over 48. Once again, I'll write it down as 49 over 48. So, in my opinion, it's so much easier to solve with improper fractions like this, because technically if you're multiplying or dividing with a mixed number, usually, in most cases, I like to switch it into the improper fraction, so it's simpler just to leave it as an improper fraction if they give it to you. So this will be session 3. So thank you for watching. I hope this comes in handy for you later, and enjoy.